It's running now? Yeah. Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul, James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul, James Brown, saying stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, James Brown.
Inner Vision, taking you to a new level of Christian radio. www.innervisionrecords.org, the official website of Inner Vision.
Send us feedback, requests.
Help spread the word about local musicians. We are Inner FM.
Well, welcome to Inner Vision. As usual, it's been a wild day. And each show, man, it's hot in here. Welcome, Alan. Inner Vision is a nonprofit organization. We work with physically challenged musical artists to teach the business of music. We also are working on our radio station here, trying to get that up and going. It is up and going, and gaining listeners, and that's just Inner Vision FM 24 hours a day. And of course, you see, hopefully you see down there in the corner that the Buy My Book, 6 Shades of Blindness, was just released on the 7th for Harbor Day. And today, we're going to start off with what it would have been a negative story because we have too many politically correct, left-wing, social justice people out there who get a job and they don't know the essence of the fantasy, and instead they want to put their political beliefs on anyone and everyone. And lucky, this fake clause got fired. Alan, you're
wow.
Here.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear. So we had a Santa Claus working at a mall, masked up, sitting six I don't know, paces away from the children, plexiglass. That was weird. That was weird in itself. And the little boy said,
"That's what you call a scary Santa, Johnny."
Yeah, and he's wearing a beard and a mask. Right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Ho ho ho! Santa Claus is afraid of coronavirus. Oh man! So the mother takes his little 6-year-old boy to get the experience, the Santa Claus experience, and the little boy says, "Well, all I want is a Nerf ball." And Santa, of course, because he belongs in the Biden Harris camp. He's a social warrior. He says
social justice warrior. Now they just want to be politically correct and everything. So
yeah, and he's part of the
Nerf gun.
Yeah, and it's part of the Beirut. What's that guy who said he's going to come take all of our guns?
Well, lots of people have kind of
no. I'm talking about the ones I'm talking about the one that was running for president. And
Beto O'Rourke.
Beto O'Rourke. Yeah, and even that this chump comes to Denver, saying that he goes to Aurora thinking it'd be safe ground, but this lady who won, she's now a Republican, like in the Senate now. She won it. She has an open carry license. She came down there. She's only 5 foot, and she says, "You're not taking my gun."
Holy moly. So back to that kid.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
happened?
So anyway, the kid said, "I just want a Nerf gun," and he says, "I won't bring you a Nerf, one of those guns. Your dad can."
Told him no.
Yeah, he says, "Your dad can do it, but I won't do it." Right? And so the kid starts crying, and
Oh my!
Of course,
That's
Santa
crazy.
Claus, left-wing, heartless person as he is, just dismissed him. Well, the store, people started complaining. The store who hired this crackpot fired that crackpot, and
Oh my!
And then you think, well, the store did the right thing. They fired this idiot, And but the store said, we're going to go a step further. So they hired a new Santa Claus who's not so left-wing, politically correct, knows how to do his job, and not to make kids cry, right? And
So basically, he went from a scary Santa, and they fired that guy, and they got a very Santa, a good guy.
yeah. So then they said, let's find this mother and her 6-year-old. And I don't know how they did it, but they found this person, I guess it's on the upper south side of Chicago or somewhere near there. And he came, the Santa Claus came with the elves. And they this is on YouTube. You can find the recording of it. Brought in the package, and the boy opens it up, and it is a Nerf gun.
Wow.
So
Santa Claus came through for that boy.
Oh yeah. And the mother says, "What do you say?" And then the kid says, "I told him thank you." Oh, and all is well in the world of Santa Claus and Merry Christmas. I love it. Like when Trump was he was signing the COVID thing, saying that Americans will get the vaccine first. Unlike the left wants the world to get it first, and then America be last. He signed a law saying that that Americans would get it first, and then this reporter says, "Oh, we saw you at celebrating holiday parties," and Trump had to correct him and said it was a Christmas party. Right? They're already trying to gear back up and just say holiday party and forget Jesus, forget Christmas. It is a Christmas party. So for all you left-wing, politically
Individuals.
correct individuals out there who want to be politically correct, we are celebrating Christmas. Now go get in your safe room, you snowflakes.
Yes, and by the way, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to you too. So I want to get that out of the way because I just thought that was just a really positive end to something that can be negative.
Man, that's super heartwarming. They're still good in the world.
Oh yeah. Now let's talk about the topics at hand. And you saw that I tagged you in the show selection.
Okay. Well, looks like today we're going to be talking about the beginnings and continuation of, sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Beginnings and continuation of media manipulation. Basically, it works like this. The human brain has only one job. That job is to process information through the use of vision, through the use of audio stimulation as well, and of course through tactile senses. We got taste, and we also have smelling things, but primarily that's where we get our reality from, is audio and visual stimulation.
Mm-hmm.
So consequently, if that can be controlled, our reality can be controlled. An illusion is what we perceive, how we perceive it, and it can be an illusion of anything from, well, you can have an optical illusion. Here's a good example. Take a piece of paper. Any old paper will do just fine. Roll it up. Put a rubber band around it so it stays rolled up. Put that piece of paper on, say, your right eye. With that, it's a rolled up cylinder. Take your left hand and you put it, say about 2 or 3 inches down that, down the tube, right in front of your face. You're holding your left hand alongside the right hand, which is holding the little piece of paper. Now, what's going to happen is your brain can't correctly process that. You will literally see a hole in your hand. Now, of course, there's not a hole in your hand. It's not there. But your brain tells you that you see it. It's an awesome experiment for those that can see. Conversely, for us auditory stimulated folks who are blind, there are other ways to manipulate the brain. Binaural beats. Those are two tones played at the same time. And what they will do or can have the power to do, depending on the frequency and the hertz and that kind of thing, and even getting into megahertz and things. But that's a little high. Anyway,
Okay,
what happened?
let's stick good focus here. Yeah, I don't go too far off into this because
Okay,
I know a lot of people may not understand a lot of this, so we got to make it real simple, but not go too far.
so basically, you got optical illusions and you got audio illusions. So I bring this up only to say this: the human brain has this one job. It's just to process that information. It perceives what we term as reality, and illusion is what we perceive and how we perceive it. Now, communication has been used to corrupt our reality. Here's how it was done. Here's a good example. There was an understanding that if one could control the message, one could literally manipulate the reality. This is sometimes referred to as the Overton window. It's the view that we look through when we perceive our reality. We accept things like numbers as truth. The foundations of numbers that we use, if they're based on lies, we don't know until we find out that they are lies.
Sounds like Common Core.
Well, Common Core is a really good example. The new math and other things like that, the revisionist history that's going on, where nope, that really didn't happen. But wait, I remember that it happened. How can you tell me it didn't happen?
Isn't that the 1916? I think it's called 19 something. Well, anyway,
which okay.
That's what they're teaching in school, the revision of and only focusing on America starting up slavery, but don't focus on we were the first country to decide to end it. So they just, they say, well, we're bad because we started it, but they don't say, well, we did stop it. So that's why they're teaching the kids is that we're bad. America's bad, 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 bad. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
So we accept numbers as truth. And if they're based upon lies, let's take an example. Let's say we got 8.5 billion people on the planet. Now, there's no way for you or I to verify that number. So we accept that as truth. Let's just say that there aren't really 8.5 billion people on the planet, but that's the number they've given us. We go ahead and we accept that as truth, and it ends up being our reality. Another example is there are apparently 350 million people in the United States of America. So what you've got is a foundation of a number which we accept as truth. Whether or not that is absolutely true or not, can be up for debate, or we could just go ahead and accept it. Most times, because we are the way that we're made, we go ahead and we accept that information as fact.
Mm-hmm.
So the origins of this information becomes the sandbox with which the information battle begins. So if these numbers can be manipulated, why, you know, the population can be somewhat controlled. So, an example is in the 1800s, directly after the Civil War, somebody thought up a really interesting idea that if somebody could manipulate, if a government can manipulate the census data, it would be a situation where we could control the electoral votes. So it was a good thing to have the electoral college. You had a rural area, say like, oh, I don't know, pick any rural area, any population of say a couple of thousand. They don't have as many people, even though their votes count 1 to 1. You know, their vote is worth 1 vote. Because they have 2,000, say, people in that county, they are given a certain amount of electoral votes within that state, and that represents each county. And each county is representative of the population. So if the population numbers can be manipulated, why then you've got a situation where there could be assigned more electoral seating.
Mm-hmm.
So if you control the law of the code, it's only as truthful as the information put into that code or law. So there's rumor that the United States Constitution got changed directly after the Civil War in about 1871. And I'm afraid I didn't dig up the factual research to back this up. But there is a rumor that, there were some slight tweaks made to the Constitution that we all know and love now at this point. Constitution has been made into pocket constitutions and everything else. And but it's not being taught in schools. That's a very interesting fact. Now, something a little off topic a little bit here. There was and still is something known as Constitution Week. Often people would go into schools and they would try to teach a little bit about what was in the United States Constitution. And at some point, especially during the previous administration before our president 45, Donald John Trump, the United States Constitution was referred to as a living, breathing document by progressive individuals in the government. Individuals such as our illustrious previous president, Barack Obama. He believed this document to be, as I say, living and breathing. This basically means that it could be changed at will. And laws which are made within that United States Constitution end up being manipulatable easily.
Now, 20 minutes into the program, and of course, if you have a Obama who's a pathological liar, thinking that he could just change the document as according to his will, that becomes very dangerous, because now you have a pathological liar who will tell you you can keep your doctor and you'll save $2,500 and lie like no one's business, and you don't want people like that in charge of changing anything in the Constitution, because the founding fathers, they may have been a lot of things, but they weren't pathological liars like Obama 45 and maybe even Bill Clinton. Who could feel your pain, but lock many of you up in prisons for years and years. And at least he apologized. So I can say that for Bill Clinton. Let's bring it down to how this affects our viewers, and what does this mean, that the manipulation of numbers and information and being lied to, and fake news and all that. Let's try to bring it around to relate to the audience, and how can we bring this down to this should concern all of us. Go ahead, Alan.
Provided that the Electoral College could be manipulated, then the vote which we cast can also be manipulated. So actually, let me back up a little bit. If our vote is manipulated in such a way as to give the numbers to the Electoral College, it ends up that the Electoral College could be swung a certain way. So basically, what we've got is
Texas.
two candidates right now. We got Biden and we've got Trump. Go ahead.
Yeah. Two candidates, Biden and Trump. Yeah.
Okay, so you got Biden and Trump, and they run against each other, and Biden ends up with, I think it's 81 million votes now to date with regard to the counting.
Which is a lot. Go ahead.
Which is a lot. It's quite a bit. As a matter of fact,
and it is a lie. In my opinion.
Yes, absolutely.
In my opinion, yeah.
In my opinion, too.
Yeah.
Now, the reason for this being, my opinion, is simply because he apparently got more votes than any president in history. This is amazing to me that he got more votes than any president in history.
Without campaigning. Yeah.
Without campaigning. That's a fascinating point. He stayed in his basement, so he obviously knew something that maybe we did not, that it was already in the bag for him. So what we got is he has allegedly won the next presidential administration.
According to the lying AP, which is a lying news organization. Go ahead.
Now, here's what happens. You start with the word of mouth, you start with a written word, and you move into the electronic age through the telegraph, the telephone, the radio, television, and finally, internet. If the numbers can be manipulated, and if the information itself can be manipulated, either via word of mouth, either via the written word, whether it be the written word now on the internet or on television, that kind of thing, why then one can change and control the perception, the way that people think. Now, this is a most interesting and fascinating phenomena, and it would be interesting study material if it wasn't happening to us.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I would agree. And I just found out Dr. Boyce and Dr. Boyce show that Facebook is being is an antitrust lawsuits being put against them, and perhaps even Google for some of their manipulation on their platform. So I am so happy that Zuckerberg will get some of his billions cut into for submerging the right, just because he felt like it. Now, with this suit that's been put against him, we're gonna feel like taking some of your billions and breaking up some of your manipulation. So
that's interesting. I have to look into the Section 230 and see if that was rolled into the National Defense Authorization Act, and see what happens if President Trump goes ahead and vetoes it. His power of veto can be challenged by Congress and overturned, but that is his thinking, that he will not sign the National Defense Authorization Act unless Section 230 is in there, so that it might be abolished.
Right.
Or at least amended. I'm not really sure what he wants to do directly with it, but
He wants,
I've heard he wants to get rid of it altogether.
all these social medias to stop screwing with right wing commentary and just playing with us, and even banning him, our president, on Twitter, and of course AP. On if you ever go on YouTube, it's Biden. You don't see anything. You never saw anything about Trump. So you know exactly where YouTube stood. And I would hate it. I would kind of block all the stuff about Biden, because I know that he's a liar, a cheater, and he is not the president. And but YouTube just keeps pushing that in your face. AP pushing it in your face, and they keep thinking that you're stupid enough to say, oh, well, if they say it's that way, it must be that way. But we're no longer naive and stupid like we were back in the day. We now have information, even though some of it is lying information. Even some of it you have to really dig to find the real information through the fake Googles and Facebooks and Twitters and all that kind of stuff. We still, as Americans, are getting the information. And I don't know, it's just times will be changing, and I'm looking forward to Texas lawsuit going through for these 4 counties that will change the lie of the left-wing fake media. So get ready to rumble. Yes. And you can
Absolutely.
You can find the stuff on Rumble too. Listen, we have to wrap up, because this is going to be a part of our channel 56 Denver Comcast show. They want to stay on at least 29 minutes. That's every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And like I said, I'm up earlier than Rumble and all that kind of stuff as well. So
Awesome.
we just gave you like a taste of what's going on here. And you know, could you tell them like the video that you saw, that people can go look it up for themselves?
Well, this stuff is well known, and
well, tell people.
Here's what I was doing. Here's what I was doing. I was looking into Bitcoin, and I was looking into electronic currency and why the big push to go to electronic currency. So I would just go and search for, there's a guy called Bitcoin Ben. I'm not endorsing or by any means, saying that he's the end result and the authority on everything. But he was one of the co-founders that brought Bitcoin to us in 2009.
Okay.
So he knows quite a lot. Okay.
So that's how people can find out more about that. And so we'd like to thank you for being here on Intervision FM. Please share this, like, and spread the word about Intervision FM TV. Until the next time.